Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Josh and Jason Monday Christian and Conspiracy Podcast Show. I'm your host, Josh Monday. And if you don't know me, I'm a Christian rapper, devoted husband, father, and Army veteran. And my co-host, Jason Monday, is actually going to be out today. He's on vacation. So, Jason, when you hear this, enjoy your vacation. I got a very special guest for you guys today. His name is Matt. He is actually from my church, and he's every time I talk to him about any conspiracy, man, he's always on point, knows what's up. What's going on, Matt? How you doing?
What's up, man? How you doing?
I'm doing great, bro. Thank you for coming on, dude. I know I got to tell you guys, he already worked 12 hours today, I think, right?
Yeah, bro. I'm excited to do this, bro. I've been looking forward for a long time coming on your show, bro. I love listening to your show and joining it, bro.
Thank you so much, bro. I appreciate you. So, guys, we're going to be talking about the royal family and also Princess Diana's death. You know, we think it's a murder, so we're going to kind of get into that. So, it looks like the screen froze again. Are you still there, brother?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay, cool. There we go. All right, guys. So first, I think what we're going to try to get into breaking down each character from Queen Elizabeth to Prince Philip. All the way down, you know, the chain of command, so that way we can kind of get into the royal family first. That way, and then once we start to get into the Princess Diana conspiracy, you guys can have an idea of you know what their backing is or what's going on with them. So first, I think we should start with Queen Elizabeth. You know, she's the top of the top, and she's definitely one of the top that we need to start out with. So before 1970, this is what I want to let you guys know. Before 1917, the British royal family were actually named Saxe-Coburg-Gotha. So they actually had a German name, okay? But they changed it to Windsor, so they had more of a British name. So I want to let you guys know that. So they actually had a German last name, and they changed it to a more of a British name of Windsor. So I want to let you guys know about that. And the queen is actually not just the queen of Britain. Okay, she's actually the queen of Barbados. She's the queen of Canada. She's the queen of Grenada, Jamaica, New Zealand, Australia, New Guinea, the Grenadines, Solomon Islands, Belize, Barbados, and head of state of Antigua. So there's a lot of different places she's actually queen of. She's not just queen of England. Okay, guys. So I know I personally, I didn't even know that until I started actually looking into this. Did you have anything you wanted to kind of talk about on the queen, bro?
Just it's like how you said, when I was looking into it, it was really shocking to see how much she actually is in charge of that many countries. It was pretty shocking.
I had no clue. So I was like, wow. Yeah. Okay. So I used to, because a lot, when I start digging into these conspiracies, it's like, who's the head, you know, like, is it the Jesuits? Is it the Rothschilds? Is it this? And then I just found out how much she actually owns as well, bro. I don't know if you knew this, but she owns 6.6 billion acres of land. Okay.
Yeah.
And they say she's estimated net worth of $30 trillion. Okay, guys, that is crazy. That is 1/6 of the world's land that she owns. Basically, like just to show you guys, the United States, right? She owns 3 times the size of the United States in land. Okay, which is crazy, dude. So it's interesting. If you took 6.6 billion and you times it by, like, let's say 50,000 an acre, it comes out to like $360 trillion. It's crazy. It looks like, Matt, you froze on me again. You still there?
Yeah. No, I'm still here.
Okay. I don't know why it keeps doing that. It's tripping. But anyways, okay. So you guys got to think about that. Okay. So whenever you think about these conspiracies that we talk about, what you got to do, guys, is you got to follow the money. Okay. And this is kind of the way that we did it here. You see how much money she owns. It's all under the Crown Estate is what it's called. So what I want to kind of go over, I kind of didn't go over my Bible verses I wanted to go over, dude. That's important, especially when I have someone from church on. So let's go over that real quick, guys, before I get too much into the queen. This will actually go right along with what I just said. Okay, so Matthew 19, verses 21 through 26. Jesus said, if you want to be perfect, go sell your possessions and give to the poor, and you will have treasure in heaven. Then come follow me. When the young man heard this, he went away sad just because he had great wealth. Then Jesus said to his disciples, I tell you the truth, it is hard for a rich man to enter the kingdom of heaven. Again, I tell you, it is easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to enter the kingdom of God. When the disciples heard this, they were greatly astonished and said, who can be saved? Jesus looked at them and said, with man, this is impossible. Well, with God, all things are possible. Peter answered, we have left everything to follow you. What then will there be for us? Jesus said to him, I tell you the truth, at the renewal of all things, when the Son of Man sits on the glorious throne, who will have followed me will also sit on 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel. And everyone who has left houses or brothers or sisters or father or mother or children or fields for my sake will receive 100 times as much as they will inherit in eternal life. But many who are first will be last, and many who are last will be first. I think that's a great thing to say about the queen. Obviously, she's, as I'm reading all this, she's probably first on earth, okay, with everything she owns. I've never heard of anybody own as much as I just named off right there, right?
Yeah.
So
Definitely.
she might be first on earth, but she is not first in heaven or first to go to heaven. So guys, as you guys see, as Jesus said that, okay, guys? So what I want to try to get to my audience is try not to idolize this type of life, okay? Because if you're first on earth, you will be last in heaven. So Princess Diana, Meghan Markle, they all were threatening suicide, okay? So you got to understand that it's not all that it's cracked up to be, okay?
Yeah.
So I just wanted to go over that. And another verse I wanted to go over would be Matthew 6:24. No one can serve two masters, for either he will hate one and love the other, or else he will be loyal to one and despise the other. You cannot serve God and mammon. So you can't serve God and money, okay, guys? And I think that's kind of what they're doing. So, all right, I got to go over those. Sorry, man, I had to do the Bible verses, bro. I kind of jumped right in.
That's all good, man.
Okay, so, and then another thing I wanted to mention to you guys is she's able to pass any of her wealth down from her family tax-free. So yeah. It's such hypocrisy, you know. It's like being a hypocrite, because my wife's parents just purchased land and they want to put it under, you know, my wife's name, and we'd have to pay taxes on that, right? But she owns all this land, and then she doesn't even have to pay tax on it. So it's kind of crazy, man, how that works. Get off me, Doug.
Bro, she could literally stop world hunger.
She could. That's the thing, bro. It's crazy. Yeah. She could stop world hunger 10 times over.
Yeah, she could literally stop that, bro. She could literally stop all the poverty in the world if she wanted to.
Exactly. All the poverty in the world 10 times over. And anything that, like, if she's sitting there talking and having a speech about poverty in the world, you guys should look at this lady like, wow, are you serious? Yeah. You're really going to say that? Yeah. So it's like what they become when they're like, what you see is a lot of wealth hoarding. You know, she's hoarding all this wealth and all this money and all this power, and she's not helping out the people that really, truly need it, you know? So you guys got to look at that. So that's kind of a test of her character. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to build a case against these people to see if they would actually kill Princess Diana. That's what I think we're kind of doing here. So, so another thing that she does is she's actually the top of the most noble order. It's called the Order of the Garter. So have you heard of them before, Matt?
No, not really. No.
Okay, so the Order of the Garter is like the top 1% of the 1% of the richest elites in the world. And I actually did a Freemason episode last week. I wish I would have knew this before I did that episode. What they say is that they actually, when you become a 33-degree Mason, you actually swear allegiance to the Order of the Garter. There's a video that was circulating around, Matt. I don't know if you saw it, bro. Where like there's like it looked like they have the all-seeing eye, and there's a whole bunch of Freemasons in the room, and they're all like singing to this stage. I don't know if you saw it on Instagram, and what they're singing is "All Hail the Queen," right, on that video.
Okay.
So I didn't really get that. I was just like, okay, all hail the Queen, whatever. But now I get it, bro. She's actually the top of the, okay, not only the Freemasons, but they say the Priory of Sion, which is like a French secret society, the Rosicrucian, the Knights Templar, Freemasons, and the Committee of 300. She's at the top of all those, bro. Her at the top, and then Prince Charles would be below her. Before it was Prince Philip, but he passed away in April, 2021. So now you guys know she's at the top, and then above her would obviously be who we definitely our enemy would be Satan, right? Satan would be the one calling the shots and passing these agendas down. So that right there, I don't trust her already. I don't know about you, bro.
No,
Once I hear that, once I hear all that stuff, I definitely don't trust her. And then their motto is evil to him who thinks evil of it. That's their motto. And really interesting, bro, is her son, Prince William, actually became the 999th member. And if you take 999 and you mirror it, it's 666. So I don't know that. I don't know if that's like a, they always do symbolism and stuff like that with this stuff.
Yeah.
Did you have any? It's hard to pull up obviously conspiracies on the Queen because they're gonna block everything from me.
Oh yeah.
But this kind of what I had.
Quick question, Joshua. Yes. Who do you think has more power, the Pope or the Queen? That's a very, very. I don't even think the Pope has the power. I think the Black Pope has the power, and now we have a Black Pope as the Pope right now, the White Pope. So, who has more power? I would probably say that they are all in conjunction. I think they're on the same level. There's like the Church of England. I don't know if you know what that is. Yeah.
So she's actually ahead of the Church of England. So that is like it's supposed to be a Christian set. But I mean, if you look into it, it's like, I mean, her being the top of a Christian organization, the top of a secret society organization. Come on, guys. So that is the thing. Okay, so in 2 weeks, I have a guy named Johnny Cerrucci going to be on the show. And it's going to be called All Roads Lead Back to Rome. So in his personal opinion, he thinks that everything leads back to the Pope, right? Or the Black Pope. There's another gentleman that said that there's a gray Pope. I never even heard of that either. And he's supposed to be the one that's at the top of the top. So what I personally believe is that there's just a pyramid, or you could say like an octopus, and there's just different sets. I don't believe that. Like the Queen, as far as following the money, it looks like she's at the top with the money, and they're really locked in with the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers and all them, So that would be a tough one, dude. I know that Satan is the one that's totally in command for them, bro. That's what I do know.
Yeah.
Who do you think?
That's a good question. Very good question. But I think the Pope has more influence with the people.
Okay. I agree.
Yeah, I think he could influence a lot more people than the Queen would.
Yes.
And he could use Jesus as a weapon of his to do that.
Yes. And also they say that he's the king of the temporal, the king of the heavens, and the king of hell. That's what they believe. You know what I mean? They actually believe that he can send somebody to hell, send somebody to heaven, or also be the ruler of the king of the world is what they say. If you look at the Jesuits and stuff. So that's a good question, bro. But that's a hard one to answer. I'm very deep in this research, but I honestly it's very hard, man, to answer that. Okay, so do you have anything else on the Queen, bro?
No, you pretty much touched the basis of her establishments and what she's in charge of and what she does.
Yes. Yeah. So I'm going to go next to Prince Philip. He is not alive anymore. He actually just passed away, but we got to go over him because he's actually the parents of the other people that, he's the dad of the other gentlemen we're going to go over today. So his mom was Princess Alice Battenberg. She was diagnosed with schizophrenia and admitted to a mental institution, and his father ran off with a wealthy mistress. So his uncle, George Mountbatten, raised him. If you guys look up George Mountbatten, you guys can find out some information on him. He's actually a pedophile. Okay, so he had volumes and volumes of child pornography that he put the family crest on. And another thing you got to notice is Battenberg is what his name was, which is German, and then they switched it to Mountbatten, which is so that he has that more of a English looking name, but he's also German too. Prince Philip is also German. So Prince George, or sorry, Uncle George, his Uncle George was a pedophile, bro. Okay, so and he also had videos of doing bestiality and family orgies in these, and he put his family crest on top, which is crazy. Are you still there, bro?
Yeah. I'm still here.
I don't know why he keeps freezing on me, dude. I'm sorry, guys. Okay, so all right, so we got him. That's the gentleman that raised Prince Philip. So you guys got to think, man. Well, if he was doing all that stuff with child pornography and all that, I mean, do you maybe think that he might have done that to Prince Philip? I don't know. It's crazy, but so we have that, and then we also have another member of the Mountbattens, Lord Louis Mountbatten. That's Prince Philip's other uncle. You guys got to look him up. So there was an FBI dossier on Mountbatten released in 2019. Thanks to the Freedom of Information Act. And it says that, and this is what his wife states, that in these circles, Lord Louis Mountbatten and his wife are considered persons of extremely low morale. She stated that Lord Louis Mountbatten was known as a homosexual with a perversion for young boys. In Lady Decis's opinion, he is unfit man to direct any sort of military operations because of this condition. She stated further that his wife, Lady Mountbatten, was considered equally erratic. So this is something that was actually in the FBI files. And I guess his nickname was Dickie. He used to be the Viceroy of India. And he got that nickname because he was actually with little boys, like sexually exploiting little boys. So he's another guy. So do you know anything about these guys, bro?
I've heard of them. Yes,
Okay.
when I was doing some research, I came across the information you just. Yeah, so it's pretty shocking because it's all within the family.
Yes, you know? Yes, and those are and then actually he was raised by the George, and then Lord Louis was actually what they said is that Lord Louis was the mentor of Prince Charles. So all this information came out after he had died. So Prince Charles, this was actually his mentor. So that's kind of like, whoa, I wonder if he takes, the same, kind of does the same stuff, I don't know.
It won't be far-fetched.
Yes. And I do have some information on Prince Charles that will actually lead to that, to you probably thinking, wow, he probably does do this. So, okay. And then Lord Louis, also another thing is he's also connected to the Kinkora scandal. It's a book that Lord Louis, there's a book called the Kinkora scandal. And Lord Louis is also, he's attached to this pedophile ring in Belfast, Ireland called the Kinkora Boys Home. So there was actually a pedophile ring that was happening at this place called Kinkora Boys Home, and Lord Louis Mountbatten was also attached to that. Now, here's what happened to this gentleman. This guy ended up dying by an IRA bomb that was planted in his personal boat. Okay, guys, that's how they ended up dying, Lord Louis Mountbatten. So he actually got murdered. Okay, which is it's interesting. And he also was a German dude. Like he used to be in the German military as a commander. So you guys got to look up all this stuff and see that where Prince Philip actually came from, man. A lot of they have is German roots. Let's see. I got some more stuff. Do you have anything on Prince Philip, bro, you wanted to go over?
No, you know what I was going to ask you, a quick question. Do you think that the Queen knew about all this stuff?
Yes, I think that she knew about all this stuff, but because here's the thing, man, before you marry somebody, let's say if you were, okay, here's the thing. They're going to end up, before she's going to marry somebody like Prince Philip, don't you think they're going to dive and dig and dig and dig before they actually approve something like that? Because they should. They're going to look into all this stuff. So I don't think it's far-fetched for them to know about this stuff, or at least to have found out about it while she was married to Prince Philip, and probably was like, they were trying to probably hide it, but they couldn't. The FBI found out about it and it just ended up coming out. So, and these boys' homes and stuff like that, we're going to kind of get into that too, because there was some missing children and all this stuff that, that Prince Philip and the Queen actually went to this place. So I'll get into that in a moment here. Let's see. So another thing, I want to look into Prince Philip's, his character. Okay, so He actually owned the World Wildlife Federation. He owned it with this guy, Prince Bernard of the Netherlands. That gentleman actually was, he worked for IG Farben. IG Farben was a pharmaceutical company that produced the gas that killed all the Jewish people, right? And he also, Prince Bernard is actually one of the founding members of the Bilderberg Group. So these two got together and they purchased the World Wildlife Federation. Okay. So they took away the WWF name from wrestling, which I couldn't stand that when that happened, but
yeah, I hate it when that happened.
I was like, no. Now we know who did it. It was Prince Prince Phillips, guys. So so when that happened, I didn't like it either. But anyways, so this gentleman goes out and he hunts endangered tigers. He also hunts an endangered elephant and an endangered rhino. Like 3 weeks before he purchased before he started the World Wildlife Foundation. Okay, so those are the type of animals, endangered animals that they're trying to save, and he's out there killing them. And he actually didn't kill them. Like, okay, normally when you go on a hunt, you're gonna like have a safari, you're gonna have people, and you're gonna go try to find the animal. What they did is they took pigs and they had the pigs run, and it's like they set up the tiger. The tiger ended up chasing the pigs, and then he shot him. So it was kind of like a it's kind of like he wasn't even really hunting the tiger. He actually just he faked the tiger out. The tiger came and they ended up killing him. And so that's kind of the type of stuff, man. It's like he started the World Wildlife Federation. Yeah, bro. So he started the World Wildlife Federation to protect these animals, and he ends up killing them. So it's crazy. Let's see what else we got. Prince Philip also said, here's another thing about this gentleman. When he died, April 21st, 2021, what he told somebody is that he wants to reincarnate into a deadly virus so he could depopulate the human race. Did you ever hear about that?
Oh, no, I haven't heard about that. That's crazy, though.
Prince Philip said this. And the reason why I know he actually did say this is because somebody brought it up in front of some higher ups in England and said, do you realize that he had said this? And that they just tried to brush him off and say anything that the Queen says or the King says, you guys need to say with respect, because they were kind of like, whoa, I can't believe he would say something like that. So as you could tell, and they also think that we are just eating resources up, dude. Like as we're just like a smaller specimens compared to them, you know. All we're doing is just eating resources up. So they really want to do like the population control, depopulate the earth and stuff like that. So that's on Prince Philip. So that's what I got on him. Do you have anything else on that gentleman?
No, but you know what? I just seen a video the other day talking about how this royal family. This gentleman was explaining that they have a different DNA. Have you heard about that?
A different DNA.
Yeah, different DNA. Like it's mixed with human DNA, and that's why part of the reason why they hoard all this wealth, and the reason why they do all the things they do, is because they have like it's the DNA is mixed.
Okay.
It's pretty interesting.
Okay, is it mixed like with reptilian, or what is it mixed with?
He didn't get into that, but he said it's. He said that
I've heard.
Mixed. I'm like,
I've heard of like a whole ton of different stuff, man. Like reptilians. Like David Icke kind of brought all that stuff up. I'm gonna try to get that gentleman on the show, David Icke.
Oh yeah, he's good. Right?
Yeah, I think we'll have him in September, or I'll try. But he's a little new agey, so I got to try to, when you're new agey, I don't know. I'm sure it's a Christian show, so I don't know if we'll see what happens. We'll see if we can get on. Yeah. God willing, we'll get him on. So we went over Prince Philip. Next, we're gonna go over Prince Charles. So he's the stuff I have on him. It's hard to find stuff on Prince Charles as well, but I know that this gentleman was hanging out with a guy named Jimmy Savile. Have you heard of Jimmy Savile before, bro?
No, I thought you were going to say Jeffrey Epstein.
Well, Epstein is more the Prince Andrew. I can't tie. I don't know. Can you tie Prince Charles with Jeffrey Epstein? If you can.
No.
I think Jimmy Savile's even worse, bro. He's worse than Jeffrey Epstein, dude. This guy is accused of molesting 500 children, bro. 500 children. What he used to do is he would go and he would basically go and he would do charity work, right, for all these different orphanages, which the queen and the king used to own a bunch of orphanages, dude, like in Canada. They probably still do, right?
Yeah.
And what this gentleman was doing was like, hey, he wanted to do charity work. He actually got knighted by Prince Charles. There's a video of him on stage with Prince Charles and Princess Diana, and it looks like she has a little bit of an awkward look when she's looking at the guy. So he is actually accused of molesting like 500 children. Okay. So it's hundreds and hundreds of kids throughout his life. He would actually go to like hospitals, and he would go like, because he was actually a radio DJ. Okay. So he was actually a media personality. So people knew him. So it was easy for him to get into places. And he would actually go and do like charity work at hospitals, like boys' hospitals, boys' homes. You could find several pictures of this gentleman basically like sitting there with a bunch of kids around him at a boys' home. But he's a radio personality. He's like a DJ. He's very famous in England back then. So you would just think that he was doing charity work, right?
Yeah.
But he's actually accused of molesting like 500 kids. So that's one of the guys that he was actually really good friends with, like almost like best friends with. You can see, if you look up Jimmy Savile and Prince Charles, you're going to see tons and tons of pictures of these two hanging out, smiling, buddy. He actually got knighted by the royal family, and then he passed away in 2011, and all these allegations came forward, bro. So it's pretty interesting.
So how could Prince Charles not know? You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, dude.
Well, you know, how could he not know?
Exactly. How could he not know? Like, if you're hanging out with somebody all the time, dude, you're you know, I mean, you're gonna kind of get to know them, like, and
yeah.
Here's another thing, another person that has pedophilia in Prince Charles's life. It's Bishop. His name is Bishop Peter. His actual bishop that he goes to, or he used to go to for advice, used to get prayed over, all that stuff. His bishop was actually a pedophile, dude, like a known pedophile in the Catholic Church, like bad, like really bad. So that's another one, dude, that he's actually buddy with, hanging out, and it's like he was one of the big bishops that got in trouble for the sexual assaults of children, boys.
Yeah.
Right. So that's two people I can name. And if you go to, I don't know if he's been with Jeffrey Epstein, bro. I didn't know if he was on the flight plan or nothing like that. Most of the stuff I have with Jeffrey Epstein is with his brother, Prince Andrew, you know? And that's more of, go ahead.
Yeah, no, what I'm saying is, like, since they're brothers, it's kind of like they know, you know what I mean? It's kind of like,
for sure.
It's kind of weird, bro.
Yeah, it is weird. I think that, I mean, the thing is, I just don't want to say that he was. I don't want to say it unless I have him on the flight log or something. You know what I mean? I don't want to just.
Yeah.
But we can insinuate that they know, obviously, right? I mean,
yeah,
they know what's going on. So that would be the other one we would go to, is Prince Andrew, bro. Prince Andrew. If you guys try to Google like conspiracy theories or try to like dig deep into conspiracies on these people, it's kind of tough. But yeah. Prince Andrew, this just fell into the lap of conspiracy theorists, bro, because this fool was so nonchalant, walking around like this. He was walking around a track with Jeffrey Epstein. They were talking, smiling, you know what I mean? Like hanging out. And then they have pictures of Prince Andrew actually with the girls. And the girls came forward and said that he did stuff with them. These are younger, like 14, 15-year-old girls we're talking about here, guys. Now, you might think, oh, you know, that in some countries it is whatever, it is okay. But what these people did, Jeffrey Epstein, was they would go to these middle schools and stuff, and these high schools. Him and what's her name? I can't remember her name right now. The other one, that Jeffrey Epstein's girlfriend or whatever. Do you remember her name?
You're talking about
I can look it up. Anyways, so they would go and recruit these little girls, and they would, what they would do is they would say, "Okay, give me a massage for like $100 or something." So they would come over to his house. They would give massages, and then what he would try to do is see how far they would go for the money, right? He would obviously do it slowly, but anyways, and then he would start taking these girls that would actually go a little bit further, taking them to his island, and he would actually have a bunch of politicians and a bunch of probably judges, lawyers, all these people in secret societies, whatever, come to that island and do whatever they wanted to with these girls, right? And Prince Andrew was one of the guys that was there. He was actually, there's pictures taken of him. The girls came forward and said he was on the show. What I want you guys to do if you want to know about Prince Andrew, is I want you to look up the 2020 interview with Prince Andrew. Okay. And what he did is he is so, he has that type of mystique about him where he thinks he can handle anything because obviously he's part of the royal family. But this lady eats him alive in the interview because she was asking him rhetorical questions the whole time. She would ask him something and then he would be like, no, that didn't happen. And then she would go, really? Because I have the pictures and everything to prove it right here. So he'd be like, it would be
Set up questions.
Set up questions like raw, dude. She tore it up. So look up the interview with Prince Andrew and you guys will see. So Prince Andrew is Prince Charles's brother. Okay, guys. So we have Prince Philip is the dad, Queen Elizabeth, that they were married. They had Prince Charles and they had Prince Andrew. So look that stuff up, guys. And you guys will see the character of these people, you know. All right, so we got those out of the way. Do you have anything else on Prince Andrew?
No.
Okay. All right. Let's see. What else do we have? We have. I want to try to look up the. So we could go through. Well, Prince William and Prince Harry, they weren't alive when this happened yet. Oh, they were alive, but they
they were little boys. Yeah.
Oh, here we go. Prince Andrew. I got one more thing on him. So, Jeffrey Epstein actually gave him $30,000 to help him pay for his wife Fergie's massive debt. He was a client of Jeffrey Epstein. He also had a $6 million tax evasion charge that happened to him. And then while Britain was bombing Libya, Prince Andrew was hanging out with Gaddafi's, the leader of Libya's son. So they were hanging out. And in Libya, I don't think there's any age of consent in Libya, bro. What it is you have to be married to actually have sex with somebody out there. But I don't think there's an age of consent. So I don't know if he was hanging out with them because he can go to Libya and like do his thing or what.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I'm just saying, dude. And he's fourth in line to the throne, guys. This is the type of guys we have. And if you guys don't know about Jeffrey Epstein, I'm pretty sure the people that are listening right now know about Jeffrey Epstein. I don't need to really go through him too much to know. But do you have anything else on Prince Andrew, bro?
No.
Okay, cool. So we're good on that. There was also, man, I wish I could bring up the boys' home thing. I had notes on it. Princess Diana. I thought I had it in one of these. There was like a, there was a list of countries. I know there's something here, guys. Sorry. Okay, so what it is, I'll just try to go over it off the top of my head. There was a gentleman his name was William. He was staying at this boys' home that was in Canada, and she's obviously the Queen of Canada. So her and Prince Philip came to this boys' home, and there was like 11 kids. They actually took all these kids out to to go eat like next to the water, and there was like 10 kids that this gentleman said they just ended up taking with them and they disappeared. First of all, they had these kids all kiss her boot, which is kind of like, well, that's kind of weird anyways. But what they said is that 10 of these kids, they disappeared without a trace. They vanished. And this gentleman came forward and actually tried to do paperwork on her and actually pull her into court. And this is like later on in life, he did that. And when he ended up dying of a heart attack, right before he was about to go to court and try to press charges on her. But as you guys know, the courts, they actually swear allegiance to the queen. So it probably would have never went through anyways, but they were they wrote up paperwork, they had lawyers and everything, and he ended up dying of a heart attack. And as we know, somebody could die of a heart attack. They could still be murdered and die of a heart attack. It's not like you just die of a heart attack naturally always, right? So some people feel like he was murdered. The lawyers definitely felt like he was murdered because he ended up dying right before they went to court. So it was pretty
what a coincidence,
right? Man, I wish I had that article. It was so good, man. The Finders. All right, so do you want to kind of get into? I can get into Prince William a little bit. I'll just get into Prince William just a little bit before we go into the Princess Diana thing. So he became the 999th member of the Order of Garter. Like I said, you flip that, it ends up being 666. His coat of arms. It really resembles Revelation 13:1.
Yes, I seen that.
You saw that? It's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Bro. It was like body like a leopard, face like a lion, or mouth like a lion, and then feet like a bear. So that was pretty interesting. And then Prince Harry. Do I have anything on that gentleman? Okay. So Prince Harry, he ended up going to a costume party wearing like a German soldier, like and with a swastika on his arm, bro. And everybody was taking pictures of him like crazy. But that just shows you that they have that German bloodline, bro. And people,
Yeah.
I would never even think that, never think that. A lot of people says he looks a lot like James Hewitt instead of looking like Prince Charles, because Princess Diana actually admitted to having, this is kind of stuff that's probably more TMZ stuff. I don't even know if we should even talk about it, but the only way I would connect that is the James Hewitt. I think he does look a lot like him, dude, if you look at it up. So maybe that's why they kind of let him leave the royal family so easy. You know what I mean? Like they kind of let him go with Meghan Markle, because they might have found out that he's not even royal blood, besides through Princess Diana, right? So they actually had an affair during the time that he was born. So and the James Hewitt said that the royal family threatened to kill him several different times, and if that he kept pursuing her, that he was going to obviously get taken out. So it was crazy, man. So I got that. Okay, bodies found in royal. Okay, here's some more stuff about the royal family. Have you ever heard about the bodies that were found next to the royal palace, bro?
No.
Oh, okay, so they found so in 2012 they found the body of a 17-year-old. She was found on Queen Elizabeth's estate in Sandringham. So a 17-year-old was missing since August. The DNA test helped them identify the woman as Elisa Dimijeva from Norfolk. Sorry. So there was a body. It was found like 1 mile away from the same place that the royal family spends their Christmas. So we have that. There was also another body. His name is Robert James Monroe. He was a U.S. man that was actually obsessed with the Queen, and he was discovered on an island, St. James Park, near Buckingham Palace. And then there was also another one that was found right next to Prince William and Kate Middleton's family residence. And this one was the royal couple and their 3 children in Scotland. Not clear. Okay, so there was actually 3 bodies found near the royal palace, or on the royal palace ground, actually. And there was also another video that surfaced. I don't know if you saw it, bro. There was this boy climbing out of the window of the royal palace, bro. Did you ever see that?
Yeah, I seen that.
Naked, dude. I don't know if that was a setup. I don't know what was going on with that, dude. But there was this naked boy that climbed out of the windows. It was just crazy. I don't know if it was a man or a boy. I couldn't really tell you. But so that's kind of just some odd stuff, dude, I wanted to bring up. So people sent me a lot of different stuff. Oh, the Canada Orphanage. Here we go, dude. I finally found it, bro. So William Combs was the guy's name that I just told you guys about. So they actually found out of this orphanage 250 kids' bodies, bro. Did you ever hear about that? Like the grave sites? There were Native American kids. They found 250 kids, and it was out of Canada. So that was one thing. And then also the one that I was talking about with William Combs, it's Kaloops Mission Indian Residential School. So if you guys want to look that up, it's a Roman Catholic Church school, and that's the one where the prince and the Queen of England actually got together, and they met with these kids, and then these kids disappeared without a trace. So good. At least I could tell you guys exactly what was up with that. So all right. So let's get into the Princess Diana conspiracy, bro. Okay. Do you have some good stuff on that? I mean, I have a lot of stuff actually on it, but
yeah, I do got some good stuff, bro. So as we know, the date August 31st, 1997, there was 4 people inside the car. It was the driver, Henry Paul, Diana's boyfriend, Dowdy Frey, Diana's bodyguard, Reese Jones, and Diana herself. So the only one who survived that car accident was the bodyguard, Reese Jones. Yep. And so one really interesting thing, bro, that I found was that Henry Paul. Let's talk about Henry Paul first. He was the driver.
Okay.
supposedly he was drunk, and that's what caused the accident. That's what
Yeah.
that's what we know. That's what the world knows, how the accident happened. But what I found was they did an interview with his dad, and
Mhm.
his dad claims that the British police told him that that they killed Princess Diana, and his son was just a collateral damage
Wow.
for that. Yeah, and
Okay.
his dad also believes that his blood was switched with somebody else to make it seem that he was drunk, but
Yeah.
in reality he wasn't.
They
That's
also
what
said
they.
that he was on antidepressant pills, right? So they have
Yeah,
to add
yeah,
that. Then they want to add
yeah.
that. So it's messing with this driving. So yeah, that's something I also heard, bro. And there was like a report that they came out with that said that he had blood alcohol level that was higher than normal. Um, but I got some pretty good stuff on that driver, bro. That they
Oh,
said.
yeah.
Yeah, they said okay. They said that he was actually working with MI6, which is like the secret service of the Queen, right? They said that he was receiving big chunks of money into his bank account right before this happened, right? So that's kind of like once something that's what you would do as a police officer is you're gonna want to look into that, right? You want to see if they're receiving money. But none of this stuff is reported. This is stuff when people have to dig and dig and dig, dude, to find out. Um, let's see, what else do we got on this gentleman? So before Princess Diana even died, she was nervous that the MI6 was trying to get her. She used to ask her butler to check to see if her car was bugged, if her place was. She was saying that she was staying was bugged. She would check the light sockets, the wires. So she had a choice of actually having MI6 as her secret service, but she chose to have Dottie LaFayette, which is the boyfriend. Because she didn't want MI6 to be reporting back to the Queen, and she was also scared that they were going to try to kill her. You know,
Yeah.
I don't know if you knew about that. So let's see, what else do we got on this? Okay, you can keep going, bro. I'm sorry, I don't want to
But
interrupt.
did you hear about the witnesses? There was two witnesses to this, and
Yes.
there were actually two American witnesses,
Yeah.
and they had reported seeing two formal dark cars at the scene.
Yeah.
So
Formal dark
that's
cars at the scene.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
besides
two
besides
formal
the
dark
cops
cars.
and all the people. Yeah.
No, well, before the cops. That was
Oh,
like,
okay.
yeah, this happened. They said they seen this like right after it happened because they were taking a taxi actually. So they seen it with before the cops came, before the ambulance came, before anything, and they seen two formal black cars at the scene.
Yeah, and also did they say there was like some people said there was motorcycles following real close up to the vehicle also? Did you ever hear about that?
Yeah, I heard about that too. So
Yeah.
it's all kind of weirded out though.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't all make sense.
It doesn't make sense at all. So there was a few different theories that people had. I mean, let's go over Princess Diana real quick. So so you guys would understand why maybe they would even want to do this to her. But Princess Diana, her dad is John Earl Spencer, the eighth descendant of Earl John V. Earl John V was a groom of the stool. Do you know that's literally a person that wipes the butt of the royal family. So
Wow.
yeah, so that's kind of interesting. So the royal family, so you see what level they would put her on the hierarchy if that was her dad. But
Yeah.
there's speculation that her real dad is James Goldsmith. If you guys look up James Goldsmith, he's actually like that whole family intermingles with the Rothschilds. So if you look up James Goldsmith's family, you'll see that like his son is married to a Rothschild, like his distant cousin would be married to a Rothschild. They kind of intermingle that family. So that bloodline is like a Goldsmith Rothschild bloodline. So if you see, what they said is that James Goldsmith actually ended up having an affair with Princess Diana's mother, and later on they had Princess Diana. So the dad, Earl John Spencer, the eighth, he was just, like I said, his descendants were the groom of the stool. So so for them to have Princess Diana come and marry Prince Charles, which is like he's like heir to the throne right now,
Yeah.
I think it would be tough for them to choose that. But if they found out that James Goldsmith, which is like, dude, they love this gentleman. He's Jewish, super rich, super has a bunch of money, and also the Rothschilds, as you guys know, the Rothschilds and the royal family, they love each other, dude. They're like intertwined. They help each other do deals and do all this stuff. So if you guys look at that, now you can understand why maybe they let Princess Diana in if she was a goldsmith. Because if you look up the goldsmith name, there's so much money there, dude. You know, so
Yeah.
So if you guys look at Kate, the wife of Prince Williams, look at who Kate's mother is. Her mother is Carol Goldsmith. So that's another Goldsmith and Windsor line that they're bringing together right there. You know, so you guys kind of see the pattern there. And so Prince William also, when he was born, I don't know if you guys knew this, but he was actually born on the 21st, which is summer solstice. Okay, guys. So he was induced and born on the 21st, which is the summer solstice, which is the day that the Satanists, the Druids, the witches, the warlocks, they all celebrate like their pagan holidays. So, and Prince Charles and Princess Diana, before they even married each other, they only had like 13 in-person meetings. So they really didn't really get to know each other before they got married. Okay. So, did you ever see any of the interviews with those two, bro?
Yeah, I seen it. It was pretty awkward between them.
Really, dude? Seriously, that's what I'm saying. I don't believe they were in love. I believe they used Princess Diana as a chamber or a womb to have the heirs to the throne. Once they had the boys, dude, this dude was like, he was asked like, hey, are you guys in love? And she was like, of course we are. And Prince Charles was like, I don't know if this is what love is. That's how he responded, you know, like, I guess he was kind of like the type that, you know, I mean, you got to think he's like almost about to be king. So he just thinks he's the top of people. Right. So, so they said Princess Diana, they said that she had several suicide attempts. There was one where she actually jumped through a table and broke this glass, and she actually like cut herself, they said. So she was like reaching for attention from this guy, from Prince Charles. Also, she also dropped herself down the stairs before when she was pregnant with Prince William, and the Queen actually came out and had to check her, like, hey, you can't be doing that here. And she was actually, she said the Queen was highly upset with her for doing that, but she was just, you guys got to think, man, all this money, all this fame, all this stuff, dude, and look what she's doing, dude. She's has suicide attempts, and she's filled with depression. So she was actually pushing to have the Prince William's like sooner, like, I want to have this baby, I'm done, because you guys got to understand the pressure that she was under. And what it was is Prince Charles kept pushing it and pushing it and pushing it. And then finally he said, okay, once it was summer solstice day, bro. So that's kind of interesting if you guys think about it. That's the same type of, summer solstice is the days of all these cults and everything. They love that day, you know? So, okay. So we got that. So Princess Diana also, before the accident happened, she wrote a letter predicting her death. Did you hear about that, bro?
Yeah, bro. And I actually found too that in 2005, they did an investigation and they asked Prince Charles about it. And of course, he denied that he ever seen or knew about that letter, but they did investigate and ask him and question him about that letter, because in that handwritten letter, she predicts that she would die from brake failure or a severe head injury.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly what she said. I'm sitting here at my desk today in October, longing for someone to hug me and encourage me to keep me strong and hold my head high. This particular phase of my life is the most dangerous. She put, there's like a ... is planning an accident in my car, brake failure and serious head injury in order to make the path clear for Charles to marry. So to marry somebody else. There was a bunch of affairs going on. I don't want to go too TMZ on this either, but there was affairs going on. Prince Charles is having an affair. Princess Diana was having an affair with several guys, and Prince Charles is doing it with several girls. So they weren't really truly in love, man. I think that's a problem. obviously, if you don't know somebody and then you end up just arranging a marriage, you only meet someone 13 times in person, and then boom, you got to get married and then try to love that person. It's probably pretty tough, and it's a lot of stress probably on Princess Diana to have the heir to the throne. Can you imagine like what kind of pregnancy that was?
Yeah, bro, you gotta imagine too. She lived in that home, so she knew what was probably going on between Prince Charles, between his brother, and what the Queen knows. So she knew things that were hidden in the background.
Yes, I agree, dude. And I agree. It's crazy, man. It's like think about the people that Prince Charles was hanging out with. His bishop is a child molester. His dad's uncles were all child molesters. His dad probably was as well, and that probably made it. He probably did the same thing to them, and then they probably do the same thing to these other kids. You guys got to think about that, man. Usually, when someone's a child molester, they usually do it to their next person, and then they just pass it down. So that's why you see Prince Andrew. So what you guys should do, man, I would say is pray for Prince Charles and Prince Andrew, and pray for these people, because obviously they're messed up in the head. They're also very inbred. Okay, like the Queen and Prince Phillips are actually cousins of Queen Victoria, so they're actually cousins intermarrying. So that's probably another reason why they're kind of not all there.
They got to keep that bloodline.
Yes, for sure. They got to keep the bloodline going, and maybe it is like you were saying, man, the mixed bloodline that they got to have happen. So let's get. You want to talk more about the crash, or maybe? Go ahead.
Well, they said that at first the car was doing 65 miles an hour. But after further investigation, it was supposed to be going over 100 miles an hour.
Yeah.
So if you were just to look at the pictures of that crash, you could definitely tell it was over 65 miles an hour. There's no way that the car could have crashed and it be that way.
It was crushed. Yeah.
It was crushed. Yeah.
So the Operation Pegget was the British Metropolitan Police. That was the investigation that they did in 2004. That was the one, Operation Pegget. If you guys look that up, it'll show you what the British police they actually did an investigation. But as you know, the British police are going to be under the Queen, so they're not going to put anything on the Queen. So everything came down the line, dude, and they're the ones that actually came up with that investigation about, there was blood alcohol level, there was this, but they did a whole criminal investigation report. If you guys want to kind of check it out, it's called Operation Pegget, P-A-G-E-T. That's the one that, if you guys want to kind of research that. So they said after the crash, the accident, a paparazzi cameraman walked up to the car and was telling Princess Diana everything's going to be okay. So she was coherent, dude, after the crash. The car looked crushed, but she was coherent, okay? And that help is on the way. There was also a doctor that drove by, stopped, and was treating her at the scene, talking to her, and she was coherent, okay? Some people reported seeing her walk into the ambulance, not even get carted in. I don't know if that's true or not, but some people reported that, okay? And there was even reports that she just had a dislocated shoulder. Now, here's the crazy part. She ended up going into the ambulance, and it took the ambulance an hour and 10 minutes to get to the hospital and to drive 3 miles. Did you know about that, bro?
Yeah. Yes, I did hear about that.
That's crazy, dude. You guys got to think. It took an hour and 10 minutes, okay? And this all happened in Paris, France, okay, guys? So this is not happening in Britain, okay? This is happening in Paris, France. So it's kind of interesting, man. So another things that happened is the driver, before they actually went on this trip, they were in the Ritz Hotel, because the Doty, his dad actually owns the Ritz Hotel. So they were in the Ritz Hotel. The dad was telling Doty, which is the boyfriend of Princess Diana, do not go out. He said there's like 30 paparazzi downstairs waiting. Just tonight, stay in. You have everything you need. You have food, water. That's a Ritz-Carlton hotel, bro. Like they're probably in the top suite, but they ended up going anyways. The driver basically sent like a decoy car. He sent the Mercedes that they were going to be driving up to pick them up. And it looked like somebody got in, and then the paparazzi followed that vehicle. And then the driver ended up going in the back of the Ritz, and then they ended up getting into the Mercedes and going. So the paparazzi actually caught word that Princess Diana was not in that vehicle that drove away, the decoy car, and that she was in the other one. So that dude was not drunk, bro. He was coherent enough to think of something like that. So the driver was actually head of security of the Ritz-Carlton Hotel. So he was head of security. So he was, he was on the ball, man. He ended up becoming the driver for them that night. And he was trying to keep them safe in a way. He actually went a different route than you would normally take to go to Dodi's apartment, which is where they were headed. They were supposed to go to a dinner and then go to that gentleman's apartment, but they canceled the dinner. They wanted to go to his apartment, and they ended up going through that freeway underpass, I guess it would be, right?
Yeah, through the tunnel.
Yeah, through the tunnel. So what most of people were blaming it on was they were blaming it on the paparazzi chasing Princess Diana down, and it caused him to speed up, and then he ended up hitting this what is it, like this block wall, I guess it was, right, or something, or I don't know what it was.
Yeah, well, I think what it was is they clipped a car, and then it got their Mercedes got airborne. When it landed, it hit the wall, and then it fully then it bounced off and crashed into inside the tunnel.
Yeah. Okay, so and it was just crushed. The car, if you guys look up the car, it does look pretty crushed. So an interesting thing also, dude, about this is so Princess Diana's bodyguard died in a car accident before this happened, and that was like someone that she was actually with as well. So there was this bodyguard that Princess Diana was with. He ended up getting in a car crash and dying as well. And Princess Diana was saying that she feels that they killed him as well. She was saying there's a conspiracy here, and because she was lovers with this guy, and she actually said that he was the best lover that she's ever had or something. I don't know what that means. I'm not sure if that means that he was a good guy, or maybe he was just nice to her. I mean, she's probably not getting love at the place she was at. But he actually got killed, or maybe just got in an accident, but he ended up dying in an accident just right before Princess Diana died in this accident. So that could have been a test run to see if whatever they tried to do to Princess Diana actually worked. I don't know if you heard about that, bro.
Yeah, did you also hear about one of the first people on the scenes was the fire chief? Did you hear about the fire chief?
No. What's up with that?
No, he was Sergeant Xavier Gormelin, and he said that he was talking to her. He didn't know at first. He didn't know who she was. He was just talking to her, and she was asking him questions, and he said that she didn't have anything on her face. There was no scratches, nothing on her face. Her face was perfect, but she did have like some body injuries, things like that. And so when the ambulance came, and the next time that he seen her was with the sheet over her, and he was shocked. Like, I was just talking to this girl. Like, he didn't even know it was Princess Diana until after the fact.
Wow. That's crazy. Yeah. So, and the butler was the one that went to check the body, to identify the body. Okay. So when they said she was dead, the butler went in to identify the body, and they handed him the bag full of clothes. And he said that he couldn't barely tell that there was even clothes in the bag because it was so full of blood. So it's like, whoa, like, people talking to her on the scene, saying everything's going to be all right, talking her through it. She ends up getting in the ambulance and then coming out of the ambulance, and then she died, like, I guess she died on the way to the hospital, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So it took an hour and 10 minutes to get there. So what do you guys think is going to happen, dude? Like, someone probably went in there and probably used a hammer on her or something, dude, to crush her insides, cause internal bleeding, and then she ended up going into and then also they said that the ambulance was sitting there at the gate for a while before they even got her into the hospital. So it took a while for them to even get there. They're hanging out the gate for like 10 or 15 minutes. It's like, dude. Now it is a little different in France, I guess, than it is here in America. So what they do is they try to help you in the ambulance more there than they do here. Here it's more like a let me pick up the person, get to the hospital as quick as possible. So now these people are not doctors in any way though. They're ambulance, but they have a little more experience, I think, with helping, but the thing is it's only 3 miles away. So I can understand if it took like 20 or 30 minutes to get there, but taking an hour, that's crazy.
Bro, not only that, it's who they're treating. They know that that's Princess Diana. They don't, you know what I mean? Like, they know who that is.
You better get them there. You better get her there real fast, like fast.
Yeah.
Like it would take me like 4 minutes to get there because I'll be driving crazy because you know that all this heat's going to be on you if she dies. But there wasn't really that much heat on her, on the person or the people, because they didn't even mention them. So it's just, that's part of the conspiracy is, wow, what's up with this ambulance,
Yeah. The big conspiracy is why though. That's the real question. Is why would the royal family do this, or why would they let this happen? So that's really the real question, is the why question.
The why. Well, here's the thing. They say that some people say that she was actually have a potential pregnancy before she died. Okay, so
yes, I see. Yeah.
So what they said is during the holiday in France a few weeks before, some newspapers speculated that she might be pregnant, which is bad, dude. Once they speculate that, it's going to go through, because, dude, this lady was so famous back then. It's going to spread through every newspaper, right? And then Princess Diana had made a comment saying that she has a big surprise on the way. So if you're the royal family and you see that Princess Diana might be pregnant with, and the gentleman's a Muslim, which, I mean, that doesn't matter to me, but to them it does, okay?
Yes, it does.
He's Muslim, right? So Princess Diana is about to become pregnant. And according to Mohammed Al-Fayed, which is the dad of Dodi, he said that she was pregnant and the royal family couldn't handle it, and they killed her. That's him. That's what he believes. The dad, actually, Mohammed Al-Fayed, which is a billionaire. Yeah. He owns Ritz-Carlton hotels. Okay, guys, he's got money. So he believes that they actually the royal family killed her as well, and him, his son, which that's what mostly matters to him as his son, So there was his son. Yep. But they said, this is what they said in the they said that there was a post-mortem examination, autopsy, and that they tested her blood, but they couldn't find any pregnancy. But what you're supposed to test is the urine, but they never did that. They did the autopsy and everything, and boom, sent her out. So you test the urine, you probably have a better idea if she's pregnant or not. So I don't know if you heard about that, dude.
Yeah, I heard about that too.
And then there's also, here's another thing, guys. There was an MI6 officer, Richard Tomlinson. He said that he's seen intelligence files for an assassination of a foreign politician in Paris that had eerie similarity between Princess Diana's deadly crash, leading to the rumors that the driver, Henry Paul, was in on a scheme and was feeding information to MI6. So that was the kind of where that the whole MI6 thing came with Henry Paul. So it's kind of interesting, man. Let's see, what else? What else do we have? Do you got anything else on it, dude?
No, well, what you just said is pretty interesting, because that means Henry Paul would have to have maybe faked his death or something, because why would he be getting paid all this money beforehand to have this set up and then not reap the benefits from it?
Well, it could be like this. The royal family was giving him money, like, hey, I need you to make this car crash happen. And then they don't care if he dies. They want him to die because he knows all the information. So they don't care. So they could have literally just been like, whatever. But yeah, I mean, you would think that he would just get in the accident and try to make sure that he lives and not reap the benefits. But who knows? Or, I mean, also, man, I don't know about that bodyguard. He ended up living, bro. Trevor Reese Jones. I think that was his name, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's Dodi's bodyguard, I guess. That was Dodi Fayed's bodyguard. So let's see. So that's what the dad also said. Mohammed, what was his name? The dad of Dodi also said that he believed that Trevor Reyes Jones, the bodyguard, knew the crash was premeditated and did nothing to stop it. he thinks he agreed to cover up the details after the fact because the Secret Service was threatening to kill him if he revealed their plot. So if you got, I guess it said that he did receive threatening phone calls and letters after the tragedy, and he reported them to the police, but they didn't seem particularly concerned. So Trevor, he stands still as counted this book. Okay, so Trevor Reese Jones, if you guys want to look up him, he's the bodyguard that actually survived the crash. So I don't know, man. There's got to be some crazy connection there, dude.
But he was actually in a coma for 10 days.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, his face was all fractured up. He was pretty jacked up.
Okay, so do you think that did he say like he just didn't remember what happened, or I wonder if they got
exactly that's exactly what happened. He said that he lost his memory. He said that they said that he suffered a brain trauma and chest trauma, like yeah. Okay. So he lost his memory, and so that's what.
I wonder if he was sitting. I wonder if he was sitting in the passenger seat. I'd have to see. He was probably sitting in the passenger seat. They probably crashed, hit that thing, hit that. So maybe they guided, maybe, I don't know, man. Maybe they chased him down and they guided his vehicle into where it hit, and they didn't care. They didn't really care if the driver died. They probably wanted the driver to die, Yeah. The driver might have had a different plan, like, hey, I'm going to just run the right side. But he ended up getting pushed into the left side and crashed. You know what I mean? I don't know what happened, guys. That whole they went into that little section and you don't really know, what happened at that point, because the people that saw, even the Americans that were the witnesses, they saw them enter into the bridge, right? Did they have anything? I don't know. Did they have any eyewitnesses that actually saw the crash physically, or no, right?
No.
Man, that would have been great. I mean, I don't understand why, but that would be great to have that information.
Even if they did, bro, I think they would have been killed already.
Yeah.
Because they would know too much.
Yeah. I agree, dude. I agree, man. So, all right. Did you have anything else on the Princess Diana thing, bro?
No, that's pretty much it, man. I mean, we pretty much touched all the bases on it.
Yeah, I think so. So, guys, if you guys want to study it, man, look into it. There's a ton of videos. There's a ton of information out there. And we were trying to do our best to go over it. My brother was missing today, so I know he had some stuff he wanted to say too. So it would have kind of helped the podcast out, because I had him kind of go a different route and I went this route with it. And Matt, thank you, bro. You did great, dude. You came out with some good stuff, dude.
Thank you, man. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
I really appreciate it. So we'll end in prayer. So Father God, in the name of Jesus, thank you so much for giving us this time. I really appreciate it. Matt, thank you, Matt, for coming on, and I hope Matt gets some good sleep before he works tonight, and Lord, thank you for giving us a clear connection. I really appreciate you, and definitely in Jesus' name, amen. All right, bro. Amen. Thank you, man. Right, so I appreciate everything, bro. Thank you, dude. Like I said, man, get some sleep. I think we did about 1 hour and 10 minutes. So that was perfect, man. I think that was awesome, good. Bro. All right. So thank you so much, bro. Have a blessed day. Okay.
You're welcome. You have a blessed day, bro.
All right. Later, bro.
Later.